First topic, guys. The All-Star game, man. The All-Star starters have been announced.
Yes, sir.
I like what I see. I don't think they got anything wrong. I think, like most All-Star games, it's evenly matched. In the West, you got LeBron and you got Andrew Wiggins. I'm kind of surprised at that one.
Yeah,
I'm
me
not
too.
gonna lie.
Not a starter, but
Is he?
or is he?
No, I think he's a starter.
Yeah, he's a starter.
Yeah,
I
he's
think. Yeah.
started.
Him and Steph.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Ja and the Joker. That's the West starting five. So, John, what do you think about what do you think about that? Do you think
One of my favorite things to look at is the disparity between like what players think and fans think, right?
right,
Because I take a lot in, like I truly believe a lot in, like, buy a lot. What is the word? Buy into what the players think about this stuff.
100%?
For them, I think it was close. I mean, they had Draymond over another Golden State Warrior over Wiggins, whereas the fans were overwhelmingly for Wiggins being that third spot. But
He's been balling this year. He's
yeah, for sure. But it's just interesting that the players, I think the players go off of like who, I don't know what they go off exactly. I can't speak for them, like, so that's not even fair to say. But just they're on the floor playing these guys. You have to think a lot of it goes into like, man, who would I rather play against? Am I, I'm not intimidated by that guy, so I'm not, why would I pick him kind of attitude? But yeah, man, Wiggins deserves it. I mean, he had that kind of year, so good for him. But yeah, I just like seeing the difference, like seeing what players think, and it's pretty cool, like to see like how much differently we think from them. And I
hmm
don't know if anyone actually cares what the media thinks, but like, no, not like a shot, but I'm saying like, I don't think the players care. I don't think the fans care what the media thinks. But I think they both kind of respect each other. I think players care what the fans think, and the fans care what the players think, and so. Those are the two big ones for me. So yeah, I mean, he would deserve to be there. But all the other four, definitely. Yeah, those are the four guys that you have to put there.
So let me ask you this before you go, Walt. And this is really a question for both of you. Do you agree with Charles Barkley when he said Zach LaVine should be over Trae Young as far as a starter?
I feel like Darius Garland should be a starter over Trey Young, honestly, but that's just me personally. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I could definitely agree.
Cleveland,
I would definitely, I agree with Charles though. I mean, I could definitely say Zach has definitely been having a hell of a year. Clearly, Chicago, they have I think what is it, this first or second seed now?
I think yes.
But either way, they're doing of course a lot better than what they were last year, and definitely I was surprised this year that how well that they're playing. But I mean, just their chemistry and just how well, like I said, Zach and DeMar, that backcourt is crazy, man, and just how the team just correlates and just has that chemistry together. So. I can definitely agree with Charles that Zach should be a starter over Trey, especially with their record. I think they're like the 9th or 10th seed now. Like,
True.
Yeah, I think they dipped as low as 12 at one point. That's the thing is Charles goes off of, right? Because when they decide MVP, it always like, well, this, but what was your record?
Right.
So then why Charles always says, why not for this? You know what I mean? Like a lot of it, because here's the thing, up until last year, we didn't even talk about amount of games played. You know what I mean? Like if you played 65 to 72 games, you were, and you had the good stats, you were a shoe in for MVP if you deserved it. Nowadays, we're like, this guy played 82, this guy played 65. Why would I he has better stats, but he played 17 games here. So nowadays we're talking a lot more about games played and, as compared to like in the past. But with All-Star Game, it's like we're forgetting about record, you know what I mean? And which is fine if that's what it is, if we're just going off stats. But in the past, people have been snubbed. I mean, we've seen Devin Booker, Brandon Ingram, Bradley Beal leading the league in scoring get snubbed because of their record.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then how is this possible?
Yeah, I was just about to say that's the thing though. With you bringing that up, like what Zach LaVine has both. I mean, I feel like I think he I don't think he's leading Trey over in points, but I mean he does have the better record, and like I said, I think he's played a little bit majority of the games this season more than Trey has. So, or he's been healthier than Trey has this season. So,
Yeah, and he's
I
also
definitely think it's a snub.
yeah, and he's also sharing the ball with another premier scorer, right? So
Absolutely.
Really, another two, because even Ball, when he's on the court, he has the ball probably every play. So you still putting up high 20s. You got Ball and DeRozan on your team, and Vucevic. So
and
that's
that's real quick throw into. I don't think anyone had the Bulls this high, but who the heck had Miami this high? Like, what the heck? I don't know where they came from, but
Especially the injuries, they had this year. That's crazy how
oh boy, Jimmy Buckets is hooping, but so is that team.
Yes.
Good team.
Miami reminds me of those old Memphis teams. They always in that middle pack. A team you really don't want to play come playoffs because they gonna make it gritty. As nice as Miami is, their team is gritty, and they coming for your head.
And that's the thing.
Oh, go ahead, Will.
No, I was just about to say that's the only problem with Miami, honestly, is the fact that they can't stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, clearly we all see what type of team they can be when they healthy. It's just health has just been a problem this year.
Right. True.
Yeah, for me, it kind of reminds me of the Orlando Magic team with Dwight Howard, right? Him and Jimmy and Dwight played different styles of game, but they both play tough defense. They do, they're not ball hogs. They shoot when they need to, and they're team oriented, and they push the rest of the team to play defense, and they're surrounded by shooters, right? Jimmy and Howard were both surrounded by shooters. That's what this kind of team reminds me of. Like, it's one of them teams, like, it's not that they scare you, like when the great teams like the Warriors and the Nets and stuff might look at them and be like, all right, we'll beat them in 6 or 5 or maybe 7. But they take a lot out of you. Like, even if you beat them, man, like, you are drained by the end of that series. Like, you better beat them in 4 or 5, or else you are going to be dead going into the next series.
You got a point. You
yeah, and so they're not a team like that scares you, but they're a team that no one looks at their schedule and be like, crap. Like, we want those guys. Like, no one is doing that.
So you trying to say Tyler Hero is a 2020 version of Ito Turkoglu?
I said they're shooters. None of these. I didn't. That's like saying I said Jimmy Butler is Howard. I was saying Jimmy Butler is Dwight Howard. I'm saying it reminds me of that team though. When I think about teams, that reminds me of.
I'm joking.
I was actually gonna say Jimmy was Turkoglu for real. Like, I mean, they kind of got the same play a little bit though. Honestly, in my opinion.
Burner, he was boy. It seemed like if you left him open, game on the line, you might as well just call.
Turkoglu was smacking him. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Turkoglu was like that for real.
But it does make a lot of sense because even with their point guards, Jameer Nelson, Kyle Lowry, both undersized, but they can get you the bucket when you need it.
That's a hell of a comparison, John. For real. Like, I ain't even think of like that. That's a hell of a comparison.
Here's one that y'all definitely disagree with. Think about if Westbrook played defense and was team oriented, he would be Jimmy Butler. Like, they both can't shoot the 3. They both love that short bank shot coming in, just pulling up on the bank. And if Westbrook played defense and didn't chase every rebound and actually played defense and was more team oriented than just stat chasing, I really think he could be like Jimmy Butler. I think he could be a leader of a good team, and they'd probably get bounced in the second or third round instead of the first every series. But they're not the same player, but I'm just saying, like, he could be. They're both very physical. They both play the full 40 minutes. If they, like, I saw Jimmy, man, at the end of they were like 40, 44 minutes into a game. The ball rolls to the other end. Everyone else was waiting for the ref to go get it. Jimmy just full sprints, chases it down the court, goes and gets it, brings it all the way back. And everyone else, like, hands on the hips. And I'm like, dang, this dude, like, these boys, like, I think those two guys don't. Oh, Westbrook does a little bit, but those two guys don't really get a lot of credit for how well they keep their bodies in.
I mean, I get all I just disagree only because of the fact I feel like, one, Butler, he has a way better shot than Westbrook. And
three-point is garbage.
And two, I mean, I feel like Jimmy cares more about the game than Westbrook.
Right. That was my point.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Westbrook could be that guy, but he's not. That was my point.
I just say because Westbrook, he's just too like, I'm anything, I'm good.
Not, very nonchalant.
Jimmy, he like, I want this. I want a championship, and I live and die by it, and I really want it. His game is going to show, but I just feel like Westbrook just don't have that same mentality. But
and the thing is, saying if Westbrook was more team oriented is the same as saying like if Ben Simmons had a 3-point shot. Like it's just not going to happen. But like. No. All right, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna laugh, but that's just me.
But I'm just saying, like at this point, I'm hating. But no, I'm just saying, like I'm big fans of all these guys, but some things will just never change. They'll just never change. So you just gotta accept them for who they are.
So real quick, a question for all of us: who is one person, just one? Before we move on to our next topic, who is one person you feel like was left off the All-Star selection team this year? It could be whoever. You could be from your team, another team, whoever.
I mean, I honestly say like who we just talked about before, Zach LaVine. Like, I mean, that's definitely a snub in my opinion. Like, just like I said, just based off of how well they've been playing this year. So that's a snub for me.
I will say that like I was looking at the list, and so the players did pick LaVine over Trey, but at the same time, Carmelo and Anthony Davis only made the list because of the fans. The players actually had both those guys way down at 12 and 14. So it's interesting. So, I'd have to go through and see who maybe will get bumped from the bottom that maybe deserve to be there. But I mean, I remember a season where I don't think Kobe played the first half of the season and still got picked, because like, listen, if he were healthy, he's the best player. So
population.
That's what a lot of people are going off of. Is like
popularity.
You have the best season, and that's the problem with having an all-star game halfway through the season too. Is like, Zion Williamson could come back the second half of the season and just destroy teams, right? It's like I don't like rating guys off half of a season, but that's how the NBA All-Star game is different than the rest.
So, okay, my bad. Quick question. So they haven't replaced KD yet, or they have?
I think he might still coach, but maybe they replace. I don't know how that works.
No, I'm only saying that just because I mean, with us talking about snubs, I mean, one of the snubs they should be able to take KD's spot, right?
True.
Oh yeah, they always do that. Yeah, someone always gets put in.
So that's what I'm saying. Okay, well, yeah, that's all I was saying. Well, that was relating to us talking about the snubs, though. So that's why I asked that question. So yeah, we can Nico move on to the next topic.
Yeah, because you got Paul George is hurt, so some other players are definitely going to get put in. So I'm going to wait and see who gets put into those spots before I say snubs. But I mean, if we're just talking about starters, though, which is what this one is about, I would say, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it a snub, but I can definitely see how LaVine should have been there over Trey.
True, and I'd say the same, because like Walt was saying earlier, he's just been having a better year. He has more talent around him, as a team, but he's still been putting up numbers. They still been winning games. Hopefully, this injury bug, stays away from him after Caruso comes back. And hopefully we can see the team, although Pat is gone for the season, hopefully we can still see the team at 90% and see what they can do. So